Here is our next target. It is some UV fluorescent slime. I believe it has some glitter, some strawberries, all sorts of stuff in here. This was made by a student, and if I turn on my blacklight, concentrated in one area, take it away, you can see it is very, very good at letting go of that energy slowly. That's because we mixed in a whole bunch of strontium. I forgot the compound, but I do remember it has the unusual atom strontium in it. And this will hold for quite a few minutes. Let's take a look at it under the microscope. So taking a look at this on the lowest magnification, a couple of things jump right out. First, I see a lot of hexagonal glitter, which is suspiciously similar to the glitter that I had in my bag, and which the girls were instructed, do not touch. They're suspiciously similar. See that hexagonal glitter? I wonder where that came from. I also see a lot of round, let me change the focus, round bubbles. Those are bubbles of trapped air from mixing up the slime. And those bubbles are just going to stay there. The force of buoyancy is just not nearly strong enough to push through the slime, this very, very viscous liquid. That's also why you might see a lot of trapped air bubbles in honey or other very viscous things. I do like this picture, how they're all very circular. All the other little things floating, I don't know what those are. So I'm going to change the lighting a few times. For example, here's a color filter. Let's bring that up. Blue background with an orange color filter. And does it really tell me anything more? No. No, that didn't tell me much. So I'm going to zoom in and see what those things are. I really can't think of what we added. Oh, they could be the flakes of strontium, the flakes of that UV fluorescent powder. Okay, let's test it. I've got my black light here. I'm going to turn off the microscope light, and you can see that they are already activated. I can see a little bit of light coming through, and sure enough, I'm pointing the black light at it now, and sure enough, all those particles were the UV fluorescent powder. Oh no, that's wonderful. And if I take, see, so I'm going to get the black light very close to sort of charge them up. Then I take away the black light, and the color fades away. Switch to a lower magnification so you can see that again. Here it is, the mixture of glitter, air bubbles, and UV fluorescing powder. I take the black light away, and it takes a few seconds for it to stop. So I'm going to move the camera so you can see what I'm looking at. Right there. Well, looks like the camera's picking up the UV. So that is what our slime sample looks like. I'm taking a look at some glitter under the microscope, and this glitter, orangey, I don't know what color this is, it fluoresces really, really strongly under a black light. A lot of fun, which also means that I can find every little spot where I spilled it, because every speck of glitter lights up under the black light. Which, good and a bad thing. Here it is, sitting under the microscope, and let's pop the camera in. I have a blue and orange filter right now. That's why you see a blue background and kind of orange glitter. It is orange, but there is an orange filter on the light. And at the lowest magnification, you can kind of look around and see what shape the glitter is cut into. You know, it's not perfect, it's more ground up. And so I look forward to zooming in and seeing it a little bit closer. The basic shape of the glitter looks like maybe hexagons, six-sided, but they're all cut quite differently. This is at lowest magnification, so I'm going to pick that one, and let's go a little closer. So there he is, and now we can see more of these imperfections, those little strands of, oh, I don't know, plastic or something coming off of them. Having a tough time focusing on those. And you can see that there are what looks to be cracks in the plastic, maybe. Some are still stuck together. Many little scratches and cracks. One thing I've done is actually turn off the microscope light and use a black light from above. See how the glitter is glowing? And that might actually give some interesting images. Here is the glitter illuminated just by a black light at low magnification. I think it's rather neat. Here it is with a different method of lighting. I put something in the way of the light so that some of the light comes kind of sideways onto the sample. And when doing that, every little feature on the surface of the glitter makes its own little shadow. So I'm putting this through the focal plane. You can see some cracks. You can also see a lot of the surface texture. So that, playing around with the lighting, that was kind of fun to discover that you can see the surface texture. So by switching over to a dark field condenser, I've discovered something very, very pretty. This glitter is iridescent. It gives off a different color depending on which direction the light reflects off it. You can see that it's pink glitter or orange, but when the light bounces from the side, truly from the side, in this dark field setup, we see greens, we see blues, maybe some greens and yellows. And this is not with a black light, this is just with normal lamp in the microscope. But this is a true dark field setup. So the light is coming from the sides, and we see the reflected light can be one of a few colors. So that was a cool little discovery. We didn't see it before because the light was going straight through all of the chunks of glitter plastics. I'm going to shine the black light on it, see if we can get any combined effects. So there it is with the black light on it. This is just me waving the black light back and forth across it. I've gone back to the glitter because I want to know, why didn't I notice the iridescence before? Why didn't I notice any of those greens and blues? If I hold the bottle of glitter, and I'm looking at it now off screen, I do see a lot of green and blue sparkles coming off. But when I looked at it here, under the microscope with the light going through the glitter, all I saw was that it's red. I didn't see a lot of reflections, or any reflections, off the surface from other lights in the room. To see those reflections and the iridescence, I turned down the microscope light, and there, just the light from my window is showing a bit of green. Now I turn on a flashlight, and we see all of this. That's a good angle right there. And we see all these blue-green reflections off the surface. So it took a little bit of playing around, and there, right in the middle of the screen, one of them is acting like a mirror pointed in just the right direction to shine that flashlight back at me. I'm waving the flashlight right now, and right there in the middle of the screen, one of them is pointed in just the right way that we can definitely see that blue-green is coming from reflections. In other words, iridescence. Finally, now that all is done, I have my two new microscope slides, glow slime and glitter, and I also have, with the help of a black light, a lot of glitter to clean up. There it is. Let's charge up that slime. Pretty cool.